You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
It is time for us, those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton in studio. He is Jeff Smith, the mobile studio, flying the highways and byways of the state of Indiana this morning. And we're going to talk about golf, of course. It's what we do.
Let's talk about fishing today.
No, man, I don't know from fishing.
I don't know anything about fishing either. I do know this, though. It's very quiet.
Uh-huh.
There's usually not a lot of people around.
Uh-huh.
And there's not a lot of action.
Yeah.
Which I can be asleep for that.
That's it. So is sleeping, and sleeping is much better. You know, I keep telling people I love to catch fish. I just don't have the patience to wait for fish. So, you know, I can do that. I can do that fish in a barrel thing, but I'm not.
The whole reeling them in thing is really what you're doing.
Not for me, man. Not for me at all. We are going to talk, however, to a guy who was fishing in the ocean and saw a beach with a whole lot of plastic bottles and said, we need to do something about this. And now makes golf shirts out of plastic bottles.
What?
Which is a bit of a simplification, but his name's Tim Reddy. He's from all19holes.com. He's going to be on with us a little bit later on and describe how that works. And then we've got a gentleman coming up, Ron Garland, who's the founder at Golf Nuts, the club.
Golf Nuts, the club. Like people are golfing, like their nuts are about golf. That kind of golf nuts?
That kind of golf nuts. Or Golf Club, the nuts. I'm not sure which. The words are all out there. You put them in whatever order works for you, I guess. We'll be fine.
That's a golf club.
We were going to, during this hour, we will definitively decide what the specific date is for our first Business Golf Live event at Timbergate Golf Course with Jeff and myself. And we will get that all taken care of today, right here on those Weekend Golf Guys. So we do suggest you hang out with us because there will be some tips, some maybe just some off-the-cuff comments that turn your entire golf game around. Then again, maybe not. You never can tell. But Jeff has been practicing. He's got some little tricks up his sleeve that he has generously decided to impart to us. So that's what we're waiting for. We'll be doing all of that. We'll be talking with Tim Reddy, with Ron Garland, with Jeff Smith, and we'll be talking about your shortcomings or whatever you want to call them on the course, too. We are those Weekend Golf Guys, and we got a whole bunch of great stuff coming up, so we do ask that you just hang out with us for a couple of minutes because we're coming right back. Of course, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golfguys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. We'd love it even more if you'd go there and follow us, facebook.com/golfguys. It seems to be happening so much more often now when I play golf, but I'll get done with 18 holes and I'll come home and, sit down, relax a little bit, and suddenly I get up and the knees hurt, and it lasts for a couple of days now. So Omax Health, one of our sponsors, has been telling me to use this CryoFreeze CBD roll-on that they've developed for pain. So I said, well, I've got some. I might as well. What the heck, huh? It's triple action pain relief roll-on, specifically formulated to block pain receptors to reduce inflammation and improve muscle and joint flexibility, which is exactly what I needed. It's 100% natural, CBD-powered remedy. It works its magic within 10 minutes of application. That's what it said on the label, and that's actually what happened. And it lasts for about 8 hours at a time. It's called CryoFreeze. Go to omaxhealth.com and enter the code WEEKEND. That is omaxhealth.com. Enter the code WEEKEND and you will get 20% off CryoFreeze and anything else site-wide. You know, golfers, we love gear. It's a big part of our game, and we put a lot of time and let's face it, a lot of money into getting it right, whether we're researching our next irons or maybe even testing out some new tees. But there is one important piece of equipment that we overlook: your golf cart battery. Most of us don't consider the quality of our battery. That is until it dies and we're stranded out in the middle of the course. That's why we want you to know about the Rely-On Insight battery, the intelligent golf cart battery that utilizes intuitive software for better performance and fewer disconnects. The Rely-On Insight battery is powered by lithium, not lead acid, so it charges faster, provides more range, and requires no maintenance. It's a drop-in replacement, so just connect and go. You can learn more at RelyOnBattery.com/golfguys and use our special promo code GolfGuys for 10% off. Plus, you'll get a free charger when you order 2 or more Insight batteries. Again, that's RelyOnBattery.com/golfguys. and use promo code GolfGuys. And no other lithium battery compares to Rely-On's. Order yours today. And we are those weekend golf guys, and we are here. I'm John Ashton. He is Jeff Smith. Jeff, I told you I got a new golf bag sent to me, and I showed you the picture. It's one of those beautiful new Ben Hogan golf bags.
I saw that.
And you can see them all on our website, thoseweekendgolfguys.com. Ben Hogan, it's part of their product for this year 2020. They're coming out with some new clubs, and they've got the new bags. They've got, what do you call mine, a staff bag.
It's a big gigantic staff bag.
Yeah, and they've got the cart bags, and they've got the Sunday bags and all that kind of stuff with their logos and their names and everything. And it just looks very official. And you said what I should do, since I have Ping clubs, is maybe go to Ping and say, hey, why don't you send me a bag with your name on it? And I did that research, and you know what I found out?
What's that?
Ping's the one that suggested Ben Hogan send me a bag. Because they said
so that way you'll start playing Ben Hogan clubs.
Well, they said
not embarrassed.
Yeah, we really not want to call attention to the fact that you play Ping clubs.
Matter of fact, we would prefer it if you didn't.
Yes. In fact, take all of our names off of it, okay?
Our advertising would be much better if John Ashton was not playing Ping clubs.
Yeah.
Yes. I have some friends at Ping that would thoroughly enjoy that because they may have had something to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly the way it works. So
they've listened to our show. They're happy that I'm not on staff with Ping.
Yeah.
Let him go to the other company. We'll just keep plugging right along.
So anyhow, no, I just want to thank the folks from Ben Hogan Golf for sending that along, because it's really nice. And I needed a new bag. I think that's probably one of the least, well, maybe the most overlooked pieces of gear. Because
by you?
Well, by a lot of people, because I mean, bags are expensive. They really are. They're expensive. A lot of times it's a superfluous expense that you say, well, why should I spend this on the bag when I could, use the bag I've used for the past 20 years and just take that money and buy better clubs? Because
you're not styling.
I know. You got to be
20-year-old beat up bag that's filthy. Zippers are broken. There's Cheez-Its all over the place. You got peanut butter stuck in the bottom of the ball pouch. Come on.
When you pull up to one of those golf courses where the attendants come out to where you park to get your clubs for you out of the trunk, and you say, no, that's okay, because you're embarrassed to have them see your bag, maybe that's a sign it's time to get a new bag. What do you think?
Well, it's either that one or the fact when they see your bag, then they they get the rubber gloves out. And then they say, all right, sir, I've got this. They get their little hazmat suit going. Carry that as far away from their body as they can.
We were out at South Park Country Club here in Louisville last weekend doing we're back to doing live shows locally now. So if you're in our area, you want to catch them, it's 11 o'clock Eastern time on Big X Sports Radio. That's just a little plug for the local folk. But we're doing one, and it was a little too chilly to play, but we were hanging out with the pro. We had a little brunch buffet that they've got there, and then we went in and checked out. He's got a brand new simulator in the pro shop that he was very proud of and was showing us all that. And we just got to talking about things, and he mentioned that buying clubs is something that you really shouldn't do off the rack. You should really get fit, which is something that you have preached ad nauseum here on this show. And it's absolutely correct. But he made a comment, and I just wanted to run it by you, because he said buying a new driver every year is ridiculous. Buying new irons every year is totally unnecessary. He said, however, every other year or so, you really should get new wedges. Really? What's your take on that, man?
Chances are you're hitting your wedges a whole lot more often than all of your other irons.
Right. I'd agree.
Because you miss a lot of greens.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And therefore the grooves wear down a little bit more.
Okay.
And at the same time, you want to make sure that you've got the best grooves on your wedges that you can have.
Right.
Because on those 30 to 40 yard soft shots that you hit, it's tough to get a lot of spin to stop it. That's the reason that people should be replacing their wedges based on use.
Yeah, that does make sense when you explained it that way,
Yeah, it isn't just that the wedge guys are going, no, we got to talk these people into buying more wedges. No, and And they don't make them so that the grooves wear down any faster than other clubs. But let's just think about it. If you're just sitting on the driving range, let's say you're a driving range kind of golfer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got your 7-iron. And let's say you love to just go to the range and bang balls with your 7-iron, and you do that for 3 months. What do you think the conditions of the grooves of the 7-iron are going to be compared to the 8-iron that you never hit?
Yeah, it's going to be substantially less.
Yeah. So the point is that it's really about how much use that you get and not the time that goes by.
That makes perfect sense. Now, can you sharpen grooves effectively?
Yeah, you can clean them out. There's guys that have this groove sharpening tool, and they're cramming them in the grooves and gouging away and grinding away and see if they can, dig them out a little bit. But the truth is that they're not touching the surface grooves that get worn down. The surface grooves are the ones, the milling on the face. And a lot of grooves are, a lot of golf wedges have milling on the face as well as the grooves, and the milling wears down. The milling wears down, and then you lose the spin because, the best wedges really provide the most friction. And so it's got to be usually the milling and the grooves combination gives you quite a bit of friction.
I've also been told, and it came as quite a shock, that you're supposed to clean those clubs every once in a while.
I know. It's kind of funny. It helps. It helps because, when you just have all that dirt just caked in there, the grass just caked in there.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you've got this hard, slick surface that's going to touch your ball as opposed to the one that you really wanted, which was a hard, rough type surface
that
hits your ball. And you'll be able to actually stop it and control it better. One of those neat little things that you ought to try, John.
Yeah. I thought I might do that.
You haven't cleaned your clubs in so long that it might require sandblasting.
It might.
It might. Just pointing something out there.
Yeah, or power washing. I can do the power washing.
Well, you might try. How about thinking some really hot water and a scrub brush and see how you can pull that off.
Okay,
let's try that first. Let them soak. Hot water do its thing.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my question. Seriously, though, is what is the best technique? Because I don't have a caddy who carries a damp towel with him whenever he carries my clubs around the course. And I can't hand him a club after I swing with it and hit a ball with it and have him clean it.
So you're like most people then.
So then I'm like most of us, yeah.
Yeah. So here's what most of us do.
Okay.
Apparently all but one of us in the most of us crowd.
Okay.
Is we actually, we use water and a scrub brush. And sometimes the scrub brushes are, like firm little plastic bristles. And some people use those ones with little brass bristles.
Yeah.
And some people use that hot water thing and they use a towel and they just get that stuff out of there. They just clean the face, clean the grooves, and they do it. And oddly enough, some of us even do it, when we're on the golf course. That would be most of us. We actually do it on the golf course by using a scrub brush. Right after we hit the shot, we might just wipe it off with, like said, wet towel and wipe it off. Get that going. Some of us use a little brush there.
Yeah.
Right. I've even seen people, done it myself, on wet golf courses early in the morning or just, when it's wet because it's raining, drag the club face, the head of it, in the wet grass. And all of a sudden, that thing gets a whole lot cleaner.
Yeah. Except also when you're playing in the same conditions that lead to numerous patches of wet grass, you also have numerous patches of mud.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, unless you have water.
Distinguish those two. The grass is usually grass.
Yeah.
And the mud is usually mud.
But a lot of times when the course is wet. Yeah, a lot of times though when the course is wet, there's mud underneath that grass. And some of us take too much mud or too much grass or whatever. Anyhow, and when you take a towel to try to wipe that off, all you do is smear the mud all over the face. I would just like to start
Clearly, you're not an expert in cleaning your clubs.
No, I'm not. I like to start a movement because the best courses I play at all have the club cleaning and the ball cleaning doodad on the bumper of the cart.
Seen that.
That is amazing, and I think everybody should do that. Every club. I'm going to start a movement.
I'm amazed at the fact that you even know of the existence of those, because by looking at your clubs, I would never know that you had ever seen one.
I just don't play at too many clubs that use them. What can I say? We're going to be talking with Tim Reddy from all19holes.com coming up next. Stick with us. We're all those weekend golf guys. If you're in sales, you know that people buy things from people they know, they like, and they trust. It can take forever to build that kind of a relationship unless you use golf. Business Golf is the quickest way to build trust. TheBusinessGolfCourse.com. Go there now and check it out. I want to talk to you about my wife. She is a critical care nurse, works 4 12-hour shifts a week at the hospital. Her knee's hurt, and she's tried the Icy Hots and the Bengays of the world only to say, yeah, I got 20 minutes of relief. That pain is right back again. So I got this bottle of stuff in the mail. It's Omax Health. It's called CryoFreeze CBD. They developed it at Omax Health. It's a non-prescription triple-action pain relief roll-on, specially formulated to block pain receptors, reduce inflammation, and improve muscle and joint flexibility. All right, so she rolled it on and went to work. Came back in the morning, and you know what she said to me? It works! Omax Health is offering our listeners 20% off a full bottle of CryptoFreeze Pain Relief Roll-On, plus free shipping. Now, the discount also applies to anything, any product, site-wide on their website. Just go to omaxhealth.com today. Enter the code WEEKEND and take advantage of this incredible savings. That is omaxhealth.com. And enter the code WEEKEND. You'll get 20% off CryoFreeze and anything else site-wide. omaxhealth.com. You know, golfers, we love gear. It's a big part of our game, and we put a lot of time and let's face it, a lot of money into getting it right, whether we're researching our next irons or maybe even testing out some new tees. But there is one important piece of equipment that we overlook: your golf cart battery. Most of us don't consider the quality of our battery. That is until it dies and we're stranded out in the middle of the course. That's why we want you to know about the Rely-On Insight battery, the intelligent golf cart battery that utilizes intuitive software for better performance and fewer disconnects. The Rely-On Insight battery is powered by lithium, not lead acid, so it charges faster, provides more range, and requires no maintenance. It's a drop-in replacement, so just connect and go. You can learn more at RelyOnBattery.com/golfguys and use our special promo code GolfGuys for 10% off. Plus, you'll get a free charger when you order 2 or more Insight batteries. Again, that's RelyOnBattery.com/golfguys and use promo code GolfGuys. And no other lithium battery compares to Rely-On's. Order yours today. Hey, thanks for hanging. Thanks for coming back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton here in studio. On the line with us, Tim Reddy from all19.com. Okay, so
all19holes.com.
all19holes.com. I knew that.
Yes.
And Jeff, you're with us on the line now. You popped your head in the phone. Say hi to Tim from all19holes.com, man.
All 19 holes?
Yeah, all 19. Yes. You are a true golfer. You're going to play all 19.
All 19, all day, every day.
The question I really have about this all 19 holes thing, is this a golf course thing, or is this one of those things that you can find in Las Vegas?
I think it's a golf course thing for now, but who knows where the shirts end up.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Tim, to make sure.
Tim, you've got a line of golf clothing. Now, I want to ask you the first question is, what were you thinking? I mean, it's not like there's anybody else in the golf clothing business already, you know?
Right. So, well, this all started at my golf club, and I joined a golf club, and we affectionately call it a dive bar with a golf course in front of it. And there's a group of people that would always, play 9 holes or play 18 holes, and then end up on the patio at the club, smoking cigars and just kind of congregating. And there's all these different kinds of people, just a cross section of humanity, I guess you can say. Women, men, everyone, smoking cigars, not drinking cocktails, drinking Cokes or whatever. And I thought, this is great. And it's a lot of camaraderie there. So what I wanted to do was make a shirt for the patio. And since it's the 19th, I wanted to call it all 19 holes. So I went and I had my son design a logo for us, which is what we call our legacy logo now. We have a new logo that has the 19 with all underneath it. But the old one was just a flag with a 19 in the flag with a little green. And we would wear those around the course, and I would just sell them one off to some of the membership, and started to get some traction. So I thought, wow, this is really interesting. So I went into the trademark office and trademarked all 19 holes, and then started getting a little serious about this. All the meanwhile, selling shirts at my golf course, and people, they like it. A friend of mine thought, well, let's, what about sustainability? And I think it's really important. And it recalled a time when I was fishing in the East Cape in Cabo. And down in Rancho Leonardo, I don't know if you know where that is, but just north of there, there's a desolate beach. There's nothing there. And we took those quads over there, and that shoreline was littered with plastic bottles. It was disgusting. So there's got to be a way to get those plastic bottles off the shore, out of landfills, and into something that could be useful. So we've devised a fabric that recycles, depending on the size, between I guess maybe 8 to 15 bottles, plastic bottles that come off of the ocean and out of a landfill and into this shirt. And that's sort of where we are now. And we're thinking, trying to get sustainable products. And we see that this fabric is one, by recycling the bottles. And two, we see a fabric which is a bamboo blend, which is another good one. And we have an offering in a sock right now called the Sock of Champions, we call it. And it's made of 70% bamboo, and it's moisture wicking, antimicrobial, really, really good fabrics, and really high tech fabrics, I think. So that's kind of where we are right now. We just introduced this Eco Polo, and we're excited for its future.
Did you know that you could make fabric out of plastic bottles before that, or did you pick up a plastic bottle and say, wow, can somebody make me a fabric out of this thing?
We had an idea. I mean, people, when I tell them this, I say, I'll wear the shirt and I'll say, this is made out of plastic bottles, and their jaws drop, first of all. And then they said they always want to touch it, and they touch it. It's like, it's just a golf shirt. It's like a performance fabric golf shirt with a waffle weave in it. And they're shocked that we can recycle bottles and make them into a shirt. So did we think, well, we want to do this, and we're not the loom, but we definitely called out a spec to get the fabric made. Mm-hmm. But we were lucky to find someone that makes the yarn that we can make into a fabric and offer to our customers.
Yeah, man, and bamboo socks. That's another another source you would not expect to have a nice soft feeling fabric made from.
It's funny.
Yeah, I'm thinking the whole socks and underwear thing made out of something that you're thinking, I'm going to get a splinter.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I know. You think bamboo, it's like, wow, that's hard. And how can they possibly make a fabric that's soft out of that? Now, I will say that I was on Amazon or something, and I saw this review for bamboo sheets. And it said, just don't ask questions, just buy the sheets. And you know what? I did. And I tell you, they were really thin, and they are super soft.
Okay.
Super soft. And it gave me some ideas. And I had these socks made with they're 19-hole flags. They're on the website. Yeah. And they're 19-hole flags. We'll do some more patterns down the road, but for now it's gray sock, and it's 70% bamboo. And they're really they're great performance socks. They're thin. They're not super thick like a cotton sock, but they're way more absorbent, and they're antimicrobial. So honestly, the socks don't stink. And a friend of mine said, I have the smelliest feet in the world. And I gave him a pair, and I said, wear them for a few weeks. And he wore them, and I saw him over the weekend. He says, these are great. My feet didn't stink at all. So it's a really good material, and it's it's moisture wicking as well. And
right.
It's, that's kind of where we are with the socks. And then with the recycled plastic bottles, it's a sustainability thing. Mm-hmm. And you know what? The fabric is a really nice fabric, and it looks really nice. So
cool.
That's that.
Yeah. So after you started selling on the patio at your club, did you start just like going around, club to club in the neighborhood, selling stuff out of the back of your car? Or
no.
Go right to the website. Huh?
We just shipped it into gear, and we made some shirts that we are in production on, more shirts now, and we just made the introduction, and we're going to go try to do direct to consumer, and if there's some distribution channel that's interested, we'd certainly listen. It is sustainability, but it's also, we want to represent the social fabric of the game of golf, and everything that goes around that. So that's sort of what we're thinking. And if we can also get a sustainable option in our mix, then fantastic. And that's what we strive to do.
Tim Reddy from all19holes.com, our guest. And what'd you do before this, Tim?
Well, I have an interesting history. So I ran a technology company, and we ended up selling the name. This was in the professional video business. So we'd sell to production broadcasters and post-production stuff. And we had a product that I designed, and it was an up converter, down converter. So it made like a X, like up converter, down converter, X. And we had to come up with a name. So I came up with this name, Xbox, just sitting on my couch at home with a beer in my hand, if I recall. Uh-huh. And Microsoft was a client of ours at that time. And I told them, hey, we're making this product. We call it the Xbox. And about 3 weeks later, they called me and they said, hey, their legal department called and said, hey, we like that name. Could we buy it? And I said, well, yeah, sure. At this time, this company was 30 employees big, and cash flow was all over the place. We had to go to a trade show. I had to pay for health insurance, and I'm the president of this company thinking, I need cash. So I threw a proposal out, which was absurd because they hung up on me. Uh-huh. But we eventually made a deal, and I did sell them the name Xbox, and then they went off. They called it the Blender Project at that point, and then they went off and announced this Xbox Game Station, and at that point I said, I'm out of this technology business. I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. So I was out of there, and then just sort of transitioned into real estate, owning a real estate brokerage, which I still own today, which is successful and in Southern California. And then the introduction into the apparel business, which is fun and exciting and learning a lot along the way.
And it gives you an extra excuse to play more golf.
I stink. I read through your bio.
You don't have to be good, man. Just as long as you're out there, man, that's all that counts. That is all that counts.
I used to be decent, but my index has gone way up.
Just working too hard, huh?
I don't know. Or just getting too old. One of the two. But I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. No matter it's a lot like a few other things we can mention, but we won't. That you don't have to be good at to really, really enjoy. So
there you go. Good man.
Yep. All right. Tim Reddy, it's all19holes.com. It's sustainable fabrics. And I mean, they've got a shirt there they're pushing. It's made out of plastic bottles, and it doesn't make that crinkly sound when you move your arms or anything. It's great.
It's super soft. We'll have to get one to you, John. You would be shocked, really, at the supple. It's soft. It's beautiful. It's a great looking shirt. It has a proper collar. I designed this shirt. This is our own pattern, our own design. Mm-hmm. And I've had a lot of different golf shirts, and some of them are goofy and some of them are nice. Yeah. And this one, it really takes the elements of a lot of them into one shirt. So it has a proper collar. So, after a round, it's antimicrobial, so it doesn't smell. And, you can put a sport coat over it, and the collar is going to be a proper collar under your sport coat. If you need to go have some cocktails or have some dinner with friends or your wife or your partner or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it really holds up. It holds up well, for on the course and off the course. And that's another sort of marching orders for us, is to make sure they look good at the 19th hole.
Especially if you're one of those business.
I need that because, I'm standing out on the range teaching golf, and I'm out there basically just cooking in my own stew.
Yeah.
And I could use a couple of antimicrobial waffle weave shirts. I like red and I like royal blue. Just say it.
Royal blue. Okay.
I'm a large.
Right now we have it's a heather blue, which is the contrast, and then the main body of the shirt is white.
Awesome.
We will have a black version of the shirt where the main is black, and then the contrast will be a different color. So right now, and really on the other side of that heather blue is a vivid blue. It's a two-sided material on the contrast, so it's a vivid, like a royal blue. It looks really good. So maybe we'll get one of those to you, Jeff.
Ooh, I'd like that.
Sounds good to me, man. All right, okay. Tim Reddy, all19holes.com. Check it out. And glad to see that you're one of us as far as the golf acumen goes there, Tim. Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you. Yeah, anytime, John and Jeff. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, it certainly has, man. Keep us in mind,
If anyone wants to buy the shirts, it's at all19holes.com.
Sounds good to me. Tim Reddy, all19holes.com. Thank you much, sir. We'll talk to you later with these weekend
Thanks, guys.
You want to see how great a golf instructor Jeff Smith really is? It's very easy. $5golfclub.com. The number $5golfclub.com. It seems to be happening so much more often now when I play golf, but I'll get done with 18 holes and I'll come home and, sit down, relax a little bit, and suddenly I get up and the knees hurt, and it lasts for a couple of days now. So Omax Health, one of our sponsors, has been telling me to use this CryoFreeze CBD roll-on that they've developed for pain. So I said, well, I've got some. I might as well. What the heck, huh? It's triple action pain relief roll-on, specifically formulated to block pain receptors to reduce inflammation and improve muscle and joint flexibility, which is exactly what I needed. It's 100% natural, CBD-powered remedy. It works its magic within 10 minutes of application. That's what it said on the label, and that's actually what happened. And it lasts for about 8 hours at a time. It's called CryoFreeze. Go to omaxhealth.com and enter the code WEEKEND. That is omaxhealth.com. Enter the code WEEKEND, and you will get 20% off CryoFreeze and anything else site-wide. And thanks for hanging and coming back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton. In the studio, Ron Garland from Golf Nuts, the club, golfnuts.org. Man, what do you have to do to qualify to be a golf nut, Ron?
Well, I don't know that you need to qualify. What makes us unique is that our website and my blog posts don't talk about Rory's golf swing or Brooks's new golf shoes or what Tiger's doing this week. We talk about the rank and file golfer. What has a golfer who has no chance of ever winning a PGA Tour event done that can get them their 15 minutes of fame? That's really, I guess, the long and short of it.
And that is, and Ron,
you
that's
just have to love golf.
That's it. And that is exactly what drew us to you, because we have the same philosophy. Because this is like the only golf radio show in the world that doesn't care about the PGA Tour. We don't care. You know,
perfect match.
Yeah.
Perfect match.
We'll tell people there's three pros we talk about. One, Justin Thomas, because we know his dad and he's from town here in Louisville, where we are. We'll talk about Tyler Duncan, because he's won his first PGA Tour event, and he's been a student of my co-host Jeff Smith since Tyler was in the 7th grade. And we'll talk about Thorbjorn Olesen on the European Tour, just because his name is fun to say. Other than that, we don't care. We don't talk about anybody else.
Yeah, so here are a couple of rank and file golfers that I've known throughout the years. Going way back, a guy named Howdy Giles was a Arnold Palmer fanatic. I mean, he Doc Giffen, Arnie's sidekick, his PR guy, said that Howdy has his home decorated in early, middle, and late Palmer, and he wasn't kidding. And he just lived for anything Arnie did. He literally became Arnie's best friend over time. He bought a place at Bay Hill, right across in the cul-de-sac, right across from Arnie, and he would sit up on his deck whenever Arnie was working in his garage with the garage door open. He'd sit there and sip cocktails and watch Arnie work on his clubs. He was a dentist. He is a dentist. Mm-hmm. And Arnie had a dentist, but Howdy said, look, if anything ever happens to that dentist, I'd love to be your dentist. Arnie said, you have a deal. Well, a short time later, I don't know how short, I don't think it was the next day or the next week, but the dentist died. And Howdy became Arnie's dentist. Mm-hmm. He took a lot of heat from his friends, like, what'd you do to that dentist? But the fact of the matter is, he became Arnie's dentist, and Arnie would come into town. This is when Howdy was living in the summertime up in Delaware, and then in the winter he had his place right across the cul-de-sac from Arnie. Anyway, Arnie would come in, and Howdy would work on his teeth and steal a little bit of the gold from his fillings and not tell Arnie until he had enough to make a gold ball marker.
Oh, no.
He finally had enough, and he went down to the bank and rented a safe deposit box, went over to the store and bought some black velvet, put the black velvet in the box, put the ball marker right in the middle of the black velvet, closed it and locked it, and that's where it is to this day.
Jeez. That's crazy.
So that's something that Brooks Koepka has never done. And here's something else that Brooks Koepka has never done.
Yeah.
Or Rory or JT or Tyler Duncan, both of which are great golfers. I'm thrilled to hear that you guys have a close relationship with them. I watch every tournament on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And here's what they haven't done. Any big name you want to pick. Scott Houston was a newspaper writer up in Connecticut, got tired of the job, moved to Monterey, became the executive director of the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce until he couldn't stand that anymore because he kept looking out the window at the beautiful weather. Right. He heard that you could be a caddy at Pebble Beach. And so he went over and applied, got the job, became their number one caddy. Well, in the meantime, Arnold Palmer's group bought Pebble Beach. And when he would come to town, the number one caddy would get to caddy for him. Oh. And so Scott Houston got his chance to caddy for Arnie. One day, they're on the 18th hole, and Arnie stuffed it like 3 feet. And Scott gave him his putter, took the 7-iron, picked up the divot, and instead of replacing it, put it in his pocket of his jacket, his white caddy
Right.
jacket.
Yeah.
Took it home, put it in a pot, and nurtured it for 5 years, and including water and Coors Light, and it finally died. But he had Arnie the divot in his home in a flower pot, and that's out on our website as a video. It's a magnificent video, about 2.5 minutes. It'll make people laugh till they cry. So I don't think Rory McIlroy's ever done that or ever will.
No, probably not. No, it's been done. But you want to, real quick, maybe on a semi-serious note, talk about Connecticut and Arnie Palmer in the same sentence. How do you think he'd react to the Golf Channel moving up to Stamford, Connecticut, that bastion of golf, Stamford, Connecticut?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are they moving it up there?
They're moving it. They're moving everything, lock, stock, and barrel, from Orlando, Florida to Stamford, Connecticut.
He wouldn't like it.
No, not at all.
No, the king would not like that.
Not at all, man.
No. Here's another good one. Ken Hole. I'm going to tell you two Kens real quick. Ken Hole, I call him ATSCL. That's what in my email, that's his name.
Okay.
ATSCL, all-time swing change leader, planet Earth. I played a lot of golf with him, and he never goes a single round of golf where he doesn't change his swing at least 3 times. His all-time record is 6. And so
in the round?
In the round. Yeah, in the round. And he's just so much fun. One day I said, Ken, I can help you with your swing. He said, why would I want to do that? The most fun I have is changing it. So that was the end of that. And then another Ken, this is real recent, a good friend of mine here in Arizona, very, very good player, Arizona Golf Hall of Fame, 10-time player of the year as an amateur, still an amateur. He beat his age by a shot. Now that wouldn't be a big story, except that he is 63.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he had a double bogey that day.
Whoa.
And 2 months earlier, he texted me to tell me that he was going to change his swing. Okay. And a week later, he texted me and said, I'm back to my old swing. Well, it's a good thing. So even though he's a great player, he's also a golf nut.
Yeah.
So they come in all flavors.
They do. They come in all flavors. I mean, all of us are golf nuts, whether we, really stink at the game or we love red at the game, stink at it, we love it. That's the big thing. I took the quiz on your website.
How'd you do?
I did okay. I passed with flying colors, but there were 3 questions that I loved, and I answered yes to all of them. And there's some stories here you might like. Number 7.
I'd love it.
Number 7 says, I played in rain last year. Yes or no? Well, duh. Yes. Why not?
Any self-respecting golf nut should answer yes to that.
That's right. I mean, some guy told me once, he said, I drove by a course and it was pouring rain and 3 of my friends were out there playing golf, and I got really upset with them. I said, what, are they crazy? They didn't call me. That's,
There was room for a 4th.
That's it. Number 8, I played in a snowstorm last year. Wasn't quite last year. It was the year before. But we have a little race out here every year called the Kentucky Derby. I think you might have heard of it.
I think I have.
And they have a Kentucky Derby Festival, which is a 2-week-long party, basically, that precedes the race. And it kicks off with the Kentucky Derby Festival Golf Scramble. And we were lucky enough to play in the Golf Scramble. It's a pro-am. We were having a lot of fun, but it was 38 degrees and snowing at the time we were supposed to tee off.
But you had a tee time.
We had a tee time. We had a pro who was playing with us. I mean, it was golf, man.
If you have a tee time, you show up.
That's it. Exactly. And then number 9, I can't believe this question was in there, and I actually got to say yes. It says, I played in a category 1 or 2 hurricane. Now, it was not last year because we don't get that many hurricanes in Kentucky, but, I forget which one it was. I think it was about maybe 7 or 8 years ago now. It was the year that the PGA Championship was played at Valhalla here in town. And the week prior to the week of actually, the Sunday, Hurricane Ike came through. We were playing in a scramble. We were ducking tree limbs. We were ducking trash barrels that were being blown around the course.
Well, that's a trick question, and nobody should be answering yes to that question.
I know. That's what I figured. I said, I wonder if I'm the only person that ever answered yes to this question.
I think so.
But then again, I can't tell you how great it feels to hit a 3-wood 320 yards. You can do that with an 80-mile-an-hour wind at your back. I have proven it.
First of all, congratulations on being the only person in history to answer yes to that question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
But I would like to tell you about 2 celebrity nuts. I don't know how much time we have left. This is real short.
We got plenty.
LT and MJ. Lawrence Taylor, I had the pleasure of playing golf with him once. Mm-hmm. And you know how he used to talk to himself to get himself pumped up when he's across the line from somebody and he's got to get that quarterback? Uh-huh. Talk, get himself all jacked up and throw that lineman out of the way to get his hands on that quarterback. Well, guess what? That's exactly what he does on every golf shot.
Oh, geez.
Okay, LT, come on now, LT. You can do it. And I got the biggest kick out of that. And then Michael Jordan, I also had the great pleasure of playing golf with him. And one time I was part of this. I was part of the first 24 hours, first half of the 24 hours. He was in Portland, Oregon, and he played 99 holes in less than 24 hours.
Whoa.
In 2 different cities. So he played 45 holes with me and a couple other guys in Portland, Oregon, boarded a flight, flew all night to Chicago, got out of the plane, drove over to Olympia Fields, where he teed up with Chip Beck. Beck only lasted another 36 holes, but Michael played another 54 holes. So in 24 hours, he played 99 holes in 2 different cities, half a country apart.
Jeez.
Now that is a golf nut. And a lot of people will remember this. You probably will. He was a no-show for his 1988 MVP award. It was held in Chicago, and he was in Pinehurst. He didn't tell anybody. He just didn't show up. He was playing golf in Pinehurst. Now that's a golf nut.
It is a golf nut. Our my co-host Jeff was playing a couple of years ago down at Streamsong right after the PGA show in Orlando, and he went over there to play, and they basically everybody had to duck because his helicopter came in and landed, and it was Michael Jordan who got out.
The one and only Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that in his golf bag, first of all, he marks his used to at least, probably still does, mark his golf ball with $25,000 poker chips. and somebody said, "Wow, where'd you get that?" And he says, "Right out of here in the bottom of my bag." And he reached in and grabbed a whole handful of them.
Yeah, when you're just too darn rich to even worry about cashing them in, man.
I think I'd keep that zipped and I'd have a lock on it. What the heck?
That's it. So Ron Garland, Golf Nuts, the club. And it's a club that you can get into if you're a golf nut. And you don't have to be famous. You just have to be crazy about golf.
Yeah. You have to be nuts about golf. We're out at golfnuts.org, by the way. You'll find us there.
Right.
I have I don't know how much time's left, but I want to leave you with a sneak preview of coming attractions.
Certainly.
So during Masters Week, first of all, back to the Arnie the Divot, Scott Houston. It's probably my favorite story, and it is on film. And I have another video coming out featuring another golf nut. We're going to launch it on Monday of Masters Week out of golfnuts.org. It'll be on the blog, and it's about a guy named Jim Whittemore. I'm not going to mention anything else. It's the 20-year anniversary of something that happened to him at Augusta National, and it is historic.
Fantastic. We can go and we can follow along. We can follow the blog. I mean, it's a fun website. It's a fun idea. It's a fun organization. I'm going to have to get out to Arizona someday and play golf.
Let's tee it up. Let's tee it up. That'd be great.
Sure will.
Yeah, if you're nuts about golf, you'll fit in. Anybody that just loves golf, they'll enjoy the website. They'll also enjoy the stories, and they'll enjoy the fellowship with other golf. We call it golf's 19th hole.
Yeah, and I love to drink heavy, so there you go. I'll fit in with all y'all.
Perfect match.
Ron Garland, golfnuts.org. Man, it's way too short a time. We're going to have to come back and get some more stories from you later on down the road here. Do appreciate
Always available, John. Thanks so much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you spending some time with us here on those Weekend Golf Guys. I want to talk to you about my wife. She is a critical care nurse, works 4 12-hour shifts a week at the hospital. her niece hurt. And she's tried the Icy Hots and the Bengays of the world only to say, yeah, I got 20 minutes of relief. The pain is right back again. So I got this bottle of stuff in the mail. This is Omax Health. It's called CryoFreeze CBD. They developed it at Omax Health. It's a non-prescription triple-action pain relief roll-on, specially formulated to block pain receptors, reduce inflammation, and improve muscle and joint flexibility. All right, so she rolled it on and went to work. Came back in the morning, and you know what she said to me? It works! Omax Health is offering our listeners 20% off a full bottle of CryptoFreeze Pain Relief Roll-On, plus free shipping. Now, the discount also applies to anything, any product, site-wide on their website. Just go to omaxhealth.com today. Enter the code WEEKEND and take advantage of this incredible savings. That is omaxhealth.com and enter the code WEEKEND. You'll get 20% off CryoFreeze and anything else site-wide. omaxhealth.com. Of course, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golfguys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. We'd love it even more if you'd go there and follow us, facebook.com/golfguys. All right. Well, this has been quite a interesting hour together this morning here with all19.com and the Golf Nuts, the club. I mean, making golf shirts out of plastic bottles.
Bamboo in your socks.
Yeah, that's, good way to limp around the course. But anyhow, I guess it works for them. Gonna have to check it out, and you can at all19holes.com or at golfnuts.org. So
yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It does, man. Want you to pay attention, strict attention to us every time we're on. If you miss us, you can always go to thoseweekendgolfguys.com and find us there. You can always go to facebook.com, find us there, follow along there, and we've got some more live Facebook Live stuff coming up in the not-too-distant future that you do not want to miss. We have a new website that you need to take advantage of. It is called thebusinessgolfcourse.com, and you want to go there and make sure when the webinar that you need to check out on how to properly use business golf. There's two groups of people, man. Those who play golf, who need to learn how to use it effectively for business, and those who don't play golf. And those people need to learn how to use it. And we can teach you between what I know and what Jeff knows. He can teach you how to get out there on the golf course and not make a fool of yourself. He can teach you how to become very proficient at one particular thing. Go to thebusinessgolfcourse.com and just look at the upcoming schedule of the webinars there. And in 5 hours, we can teach you how to use golf for business. And by the next day, you can make more money. And that's it. What do you think is easiest to teach somebody really quickly, putting well or chipping well?
I think both, actually. I really think that I can get someone to actually chip the ball pretty well because there's such easy techniques out there for absolute rank beginners. Yeah. And it does not take a lot to putt well if you give them only the information that is necessary.
Don't confuse
but
them.
What always happens is people say too much.
Yeah. Yeah, gets a little bit going on.
That's one of the biggest things. So if somebody comes to me who's an absolute rank beginner, and if I handed them a putter and I just said, go do, all I would do was make sure that what they did was consistent and they could control the speed. Once they do that, now I just teach them how to read a green.
Sounds good to me, man. Maybe you could teach me how to read a green someday. I would need it.
Yeah. You do.
Learn how to chip, learn how to read a green, do whatever you need to do to just have more fun when you go play some golf. A little bonus content this week. We go back to March of 2017 for a quick fix episode from Jeff where he explains exactly how to make sure your driver head is aligned correctly so your chances of hitting a straight drive are vastly improved. And the golf guys are here again. John Ashton, Jeff Smith, and Trevor producer Mark Hunter. You miss it? Check it out. Archived every show at audioboom.com. And you can also check us out, thoseweekendgolfguys.com. Facebook. A lot of good Facebook Live stuff coming up, so you want to be alerted to what's happening. Just go to facebook.com/golfguys and follow us or like us or whatever it is you're supposed to do. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that too. We'd allow it. We're at WKND Golf Guys. You know, a lot of people say, yeah, you're showing off. You shot a 77 and you just want the world to know about it. Damn straight, I want the world to know about it. That's not really the crux of what I'm trying to tell you. The crux of what I'm trying to tell you is that my co-host here, Mr. Jeff Smith, is one heck of a golf instructor. Because if he can make me shoot a 77, who knows? Next, maybe even Mark will shoot a 77. Nah, maybe.
Sure he can.
Sure he can. He puts his mind to it.
He already hits the ball straighter.
And doesn't refuse to answer the phone when it's 48 degrees and raining. But I
shooting 77 and 48 degrees in the rain, I guarantee.
With the driver, and we're going to have to get together because I'm still hitting my drives with a leftward bias. Will that change?
Ball bias or as a linear left kind of bias?
No, it's a curving left bias. Well, it depends. Sometimes it just curves that way. Sometimes it goes straight, hits the middle of the fairway, and then bounces that way, which really ticks me off. I mean, when you hit a great drive and the guys go, oh, great drive, right down the middle. Oh, stop. Boom, there you are in the rough on the left. And then sometimes it's just, oh, big tree. There you go. But is that because the club head, you think, is offset? Would it be easier if I went and bought a new driver that was straight?
Oh, it's very possible.
Okay.
I also know that you're trying to get me to say something so you have the permission to go get a new driver.
Yeah, I was just let me throw money at it and I'll be fine, man.
That's right. I understand that.
Good.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that in our listening audience.
That may not be the easiest way to fix it, is what you're telling me. But what
It might not be the cheapest way to fix it.
what
is
I'm telling
you.
what I'm hearing is go get the driver and then come on up and I'll show you how to use it.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Okay, that'll work. But I have noticed that
I mean,
some
really,
people.
seriously, $60 for a golf lesson for me is a whole lot cheaper than $400 for a driver.
I'm not paying $400 for a driver for anybody. I have noticed, however, that when some people set up, they set up their driver with the sole of the club on the ground. And then other people set up with just the heel on the ground and the toe elevated so that the club head itself is at an angle.
Yeah.
And I've noticed you do it a lot at the angle setup.
I do.
What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the thought process behind the difference? What's the result of the difference?
Okay, so here we go. A lot of times people think, they look at their club face and they think it's actually straight when it's actually a little bit left.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't quite realize that.
Okay, when you say people, you mean me, right?
Well, no, you fall under the heading of people.
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure.
all right. I got you.
Okay. But we might as well pick you out of the crowd because you're here and we're talking about you.
Yeah, pick on me. Go ahead. I'm very pickable.
So other than the mustache, we can pick on you about your club face being, pointed to the left of where you think it is. So I think you have a little bit of a perspective issue.
Yeah.
Now, again, you've mentioned the fact that you have an offset driver,
Yeah.
which means if you picked it up, put your hands on it, stuck it right out in front of you, like brought it up to chest high and stuck it out in front of you with your arms fully extended.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet right now that club face is twisted to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it's probably pretty straight.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
Do exactly what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands on it normally. Pick it up chest high. Point your arms as far out as you can reach. And then take a look at on the club face, the top line of the club face, from the center of the club all the way back down to the hosel.
Okay.
I guarantee you that angle right there is angled a little bit left.
Okay.
You want that angle straight up and down.
Okay. Which
Promise.
means it will look like it's, when I put it back behind the ball, it looks like it's
Pointed to the right.
pointed to the right.
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what would happen is I would come and put my little thing stick the magnetic thing on the club face,
Yeah.
show you where it really is. And
Right.
you'd go, wow, I have a problem. Like, yeah. It's a perspective issue.
It
So
is.
You think it's one thing, and it's really something else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you being fashion blind, where you think the things that you wear go together, and they really don't.
It's like my problem's discerning between green and blue and pink and red. I'm not color blind. I'm just color dumb.
Color challenge.
Okay, so I will try that. But what is the difference between the sole on the ground and just the heel?
What do you mean by sole on the ground and just the heel?
Well, by setting up the driver so that it's laying flat on the ground behind the ball,
Yeah.
or
what'll
setting it
happen
up
is
so
you'll
just
pull
the heel
handle
of the
to
club.
You'll pull the handle to the middle, and then the club face will be angled to the left as the club is sold on the ground. And what you're going to want is you're going to want your handle slightly out in front. You have an offset driver,
Right.
so the face kind of sits behind the handle.
Yeah.
Well, when you pull the handle, what you perceive is equal with the face, you've twisted the handle left. So you need to shove the handle out in front a little bit so the face angle is actually straight, and then put your hands on it.
Oh. Okay.
And then when you deliver it, the club face is a whole different angle than what you were thought about. And what you see in me doing that, I don't even have an offset driver, and yet I do that some. Because I know that my club face comes into impact, and it is in the process of rotating to the left. And I like my balls that start out slightly right because I swing farther right, and so that way I get a nice little draw, and it makes people mad.
Yeah. Well, I like a nice little draw.
Yeah.
It's the nice little part I'm trying to get a hold of.
So what you need is you need your ball to start out slightly to the right and swing just slightly further right, so it will come back to the middle.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's just a question of perspective.
A lot of times it is. So
Wow.
I know that you think, oh, well, I got enough information. I can do this without even driving up to see Jeff and paying him the $75 to come get a lesson, which is a lot cheaper than a new driver.
Okay, why did the price go up $15?
Had to make it worthwhile.
I'll pay you $75, but I'm deducting the gas, buddy.
You keep me talking.
Be $125 by the time we're done, buddy.
Still a bargain at twice the price.
So I mean, you've seen the swing. How many times when someone hits the ball uncontrollably or unpredictably right or left? Let's put it that way. Is it swing plane, or is it just that the head is not where they perceive it to be correctly?
Some of each.
Okay.
Some of each. Let's use Mark for an example.
Okay.
Mark's very much a repeater of his golf swing direction.
Yeah.
So he's very predictable.
Yeah.
So his would be more face than it would be swing plane and path.
Right. Gotcha.
But for those of you who are out there who are unpredictable and their swings are similar but not the same, and their body aim is similar but not the same, you're going to be unpredictable in which way you deliver the club into the ball, and in which case it's a whole lot more than just club face angle alone.
Okay.
Because sometimes, Mark is such a predictable swinger that you could bet, because he lines up the same way all the time, he puts his hands on it the same way all the time, his swing is in balance and in rhythm, pretty much the same thing all the time. It goes through about the same angle at the same time. He is much more of a predictable golfer, and all I have to do with a guy like Mark is to get him to do it just a little bit faster.
Yeah. Or a lot faster, whatever the case may be.
Well,
Yeah.
just a little bit in his case.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And hit the center of the face, because then it would just go, like as far as what you're hitting it now, and then you're going to be bent out of shape.
Yeah. He knows me well.
First thing's going to happen is you're going to feel like you lost distance, because there's no way that you could get caught.
Well, we'll just insist Mark come back from the ladies' tees. Okay. But as far as the perception and the alignment, and whether it's perception of club head angle or swing plane and stuff, consult your local PGA professional. I guess that's the crux of this whole thing is, come on, guys, just give it up and go take a lesson.
Yeah, find a good teacher,
Yeah.
really. I mean, just seek it out. It's worth it to go find a good teacher. And, if you don't live in an area where there's a teacher that you really find to be a good teacher, just then get on $5golfclub.com.
Right.
And check out some of the videos. Send me a message on Facebook. I do the Jeff's Quick Fix thing. We do it a lot, and I get contacted by a lot of our listeners. And next thing you know, we're setting up a Skype session. And next thing you know, I'm working on fixing something on a golf swing. So if you can't find somebody that's local,
Right.
Find me.
You
I'll
can
help
you can work with Jeff directly, even if long distance. And we will go through and let you know when the next Quick Fix webinar is going to be, and a whole lot of more. Whoa. Where'd I learn to talk?
I'm not sure.
We'll be right back. You checked out our Facebook page yet? It's facebook.com/golf guys. Go there and like us.